Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. We all have questions sometimes when we collect postcards. We're at a dealer's table, or in this case, we were scrolling through all of the Wichita cards on eBay and we're shopping. And here was this card several weeks ago that was postmarked 1921 from Wichita, Kansas. Nothing else on there to indicate, another saying that it's Wichita. The view wasn't identified, but I had things weren't quite right and I didn't recognize any part of Wichita here. And so I have my friend Mike Maxton here in Wichita to help on problems like this. And so I did contact him and I sent him the link. And here today I have Mike Maxton live, and he's going to be showing us how he received this card, what it looked like, and how he went ahead and was able to identify it. So take it away, Mike, and we'll wrap up when you're finished. Thank you.
Thanks, Hal. Let's do a little postcard sleuthing. This is the back of the card that Hal had forwarded to me. And it's I transcribed it at the top so it was a little easier for me to read it. There's some clues there that we can use. This is a letter, a postcard from a son back to his mother in Buena Vista, Colorado. It was postmarked in Wichita in 1921. My favorite line on it, it's this line down here. The plains are not so bad. I'm a Kansas kid, and I don't think the plains are so bad either. Here's the front of the card. There's some useful information on it to figure out where we're at. We got the Santa Fe crossing on North Union Avenue. I see that there is a building down here in the foreground. There are trees down. There are leaves on the trees, so it's not winter. I see standing water, and since I am a Midwestern kid, my first thought is this is a tornado, and we don't know where just yet. But let's go find out. We can use some of the other information on this card to maybe find our location. Here are the buildings, and you can see some of the businesses advertising on them. In these big block letters, I see Newton Rooms. I see the pool hall, the White House pool hall. Over here, I see the word Baker. I had to stare at this and squint a little bit, but it says the Williams Sample Store, and there's a banner underneath it that says quitting business. So good clues to figure out perhaps where we're at. So I went to my favorite site, newspapers.com. I use this for genealogy research, for Wichita history and other history, and it's great for postcard research. So I put in the phrase Newton Rooms. That was the biggest and the easiest to read on the postcard. I gave it a range, 1914 to 1922. I know it was a real photo postcard, postmarked in 1921. Didn't know if it was brand new, could have been used, but that seemed like a reasonable range. I didn't know where the photo was taken, so I just left the location blank. I got 2,000 some results. And that's a lot. Really, it's too many. It's probably not a fine enough search. The map shows me anything in red or pink had results. And I see I had 536 results in Massachusetts. And this card doesn't seem like it's in Massachusetts. We know it was, the boy started in Colorado. His mother lived in Colorado. And he had it postmarked in Wichita, Kansas. And those seem like the two likely sources for this photo. Not California, but Kansas had 126 results, and that was kind of matching my thought and Hal's thought. So let's narrow it down a little bit. I added the word tornado to my search terms, figuring that's what it was, same date range in Colorado and Kansas. I got 8 results, which sounded good at first, but none of the results, when you actually looked at it, were very promising. The first one is talking about Mrs. Newton's room. The second one is a house for sale in Newton, Kansas. And the others were similar, nothing very useful. So I got rid of the word tornado and I added the other business to my search, White House Pool. I thought somewhere in that date range, I'd find an occurrence of Newton rooms and White House Pool, but I got no results. So I threw those two out. I started with one of the other businesses, Williams Sample Store. Hey, this one looks promising. I got 33 results. Over here, I see 19 of those results were in Kansas and 14 were, or I'm sorry, 19 in Colorado, 14 in Kansas. The ones in Colorado were all in Pueblo, and I can see my exact phrase, Williams Sample Store. So I clicked on one of them, and here's the results I got. A full page ad on May 31st of 1921 for the Pueblo Chieftain. And it's a business going out of, a business quitting business, going out of sale, a closing out sale. Williams Sample Store. I've got an address at 319 North Union Avenue in Pueblo. And on the postcard we saw at the bottom, it was on Union Avenue. So it looks like I have a good location. Let's go look at a map. This is a Google map. I put in the address in Pueblo. Here's that location, 319 South Union Avenue. I see Union Avenue, the road is right here. I see the railroad tracks that we see on the postcard right here. But I also see this, the Arkansas River. It looks big and wide, and over here I got some lakes. So this whole area is surrounded by water. The Arkansas River. Let's go look. What do I know? What is the destruction on the card? I have a location, it's in Pueblo, but I don't know what the event is. I thought it was a tornado at first, but the Arkansas River is right there. How about a flood? Let's go look for that. So I went back to newspapers.com. I looked for Williams Sample Store and the word flood, and I found this ad on June 26, 1921. And Williams is going out of business and he's having a sale with all the damaged merchandise. So I went back and read through a number of the others, and I found the exact result of when this flood took place. There was hundreds of newspaper articles all across the state, all across the state. Most of them were in Pueblo. Flood took place on June 3rd and June 4th. Lots of destruction, lots of deaths, lots of incidents. And if you use this tool, newspapers.com, you could go out and read many of these results. There was one last query. Whenever I go looking for something like this, I like to find a photo of the event. So I went back to newspaper.com. I put in 3 words or phrases: flood, Arkansas River, photo, 1921, and really Colorado and Pueblo. And the very first one was on June 15th, 1921. I clicked on that and I found this photo. And this looks familiar, doesn't it? Let's throw Hal's postcard photo up on the screen here too. So here I can see up here this R, and if I look over at Hal's postcard, I can see that's the big block letter from rooms. I can't read Newton above it, but it's there. I can see the 2 lines below rooms, and they're there on this building. You can see the start of White House Pool Hall, which is on Hal's postcard. There's other information back here. We can see it here that it's a big ad for gum. I can't read it, but this is definitely a match. These are the same buildings, a slightly different perspective, but same location. We can see all the damage from the destroyed buildings down here. The last sentence in the caption says, wooden buildings were washed away. So we've got a match, we've got the location, and we have the event that took place. My last comment would be, don't go with your first assumption sometimes. Hal thought maybe Topeka, I thought maybe Newton, Kansas. I was sure it was a tornado, but the facts led us to Pueblo and a flood in 1921. And Hal, with that, I think I'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Thanks. My gosh, Mike, this is just wonderful to be able to know that this is really from Pueblo, Colorado, not Wichita, where it was postmarked. But as you can see how these things travel across the country and get used, and then they're misidentified very, it just, was the best clue that the seller had as far as when he went to list the card. But he didn't realize, or he didn't have a mic to help us really pinpoint and find out and realize that this is truly from Pueblo, Colorado. But this is a wonderful example, and that's why I went ahead and bought this Pueblo card, knowing it was not Wichita, Kansas, but happy to have it and to be able to do this presentation today. And with all of Mike's work, being able to show you what he does and how he comes to the conclusions that he has come to. And it's part of the fun of collecting and discovery, and it makes you aware of what's possible to find. It could have been a Wichita view, but we know that it was very definitely Pueblo, Colorado. Thanks again, Mike, for sharing all of this and for showing everyone what tools are out there on the internet, and to be able to find out and discover and to work and to make these assumptions and reality at the end. So thanks for being here, and I hope everyone will have enjoyed this presentation.
You're
See you
welcome.
next week. You
You're
bet.
welcome, Al. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.